into a neighborhood, people know they can't go to schools, parks, neighborhood swimming pools. Society really has no place for people convicted of sex crimes against children.
In the summer of 1992, Troy Mansfield supervised a play date with his young son and a 4-year-old girl from a duplex next door. Mansfield remembers his wife cooking in the next room while he played with the kids. He says he had played with both children by tossing them from 2 beds in his son's room. Days later, police told him he had been accused of touching the girl inappropriately through her clothes.
And I was devastated. I was shocked. There's no way that it could even be misconstrued that I did anything. I mean, this is crazy.
He denies any inappropriate contact.
So I had hope that somehow or another the system would see the truth and this would be over.
But Williamson County prosecutors pushed hard, promising Mansfield that if he went to trial, he would never see outside a prison cell.
My attorney had told me that, they have a 98% conviction rate, and they had told him I was a sex offender, and as far as they were concerned, they'd throw me under the jail.
They offered several plea agreements that Mansfield rejected. His case set for trial 5 times.
I knew that none of it was real. There's no way what they have is real, but what do you do when you're 25 years old and a county like Williamson County comes after you and you don't have any money? You can't hire an attorney. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice.
Mansfield agreed to a deal with 10 years probation, but he had to plead guilty.
I got to stay home. I got to take care of my wife. I got to take care of my children. I got to stay home.
The deal also required him to register as a sex offender, a shameful mark by his name that followed him everywhere.
I wanted a good name. When I was 18, I took my daddy's name, Walter Mansfield. I used to be a Brown. I took my stepdad's name, and I wanted it to be a good name.
The Mansfields spent the next 2 decades trying to live a normal life. He struggled to support his family from a cleaning business, purposely in his wife's name.
We lived between $16,000 and $19,000 a year for a family of 4. So, very tight.
One of his worst days came when he was kicked out of his church.
They came in that Sunday, they just basically said, we want y'all to get out. You haven't done anything wrong, we don't have a problem with you, but public opinion is killing us in this church and you gotta leave.
After 2 decades of living in shame, he found a new attorney to review his case.
Kristen had said to me, well, Ken Anderson was your DA, and I was like, right. And she goes, well, do you know what's going on in Williamson County? And I was like, no.
You did have my sympathy.
Just 1 year earlier, Michael Morton had been declared innocent after 25 years in prison for his wife's murder. Prosecutors had evidence exonerating Morton. Morton's 3-year-old son told police he was home when the murder happened and that his father wasn't. But prosecutors never told Morton or his lawyers that information. Mansfield's attorney wondered if she might find something similar. She spent 6 months getting the DA's case file.
In my heart, I believe that there had to have been something there that if we could find it, it would show that I was innocent.
They finally found it, right there in plain view, handwritten notes, evidence favorable to Mansfield, yet never shared with his lawyers.
Little kids don't lie. Either she was coached or she had been molested earlier, and the accidental touching reminded her.
There were also notes from June 1993.
Victim will be difficult to sponsor in court. She told me she does not remember what happened. At one point told me nothing happened.
Keith Hampton is an attorney in Austin working for the wrongly convicted.
It is so factually well established that a conviction was obtained through fraud, through prosecutorial misconduct, in the prosecutor's own handwriting.
That day, in his 21st year as a registered sex offender, prosecutors agreed Mansfield was victim to a grave injustice.
Amy and I just wept like babies that day, thinking, is this the beginning of the end of this nightmare that we've been through?
A judge has now overturned Mansfield's convictions, ruling prosecutors violated his rights by not giving over favorable evidence. Today, Mansfield, no longer a convicted felon, no longer on a list with rapists or child molesters.
Boy, how exciting. And yet, so angry that they would have that and destroy a man's life over what?
Mansfield now has a lawsuit against Williamson County, trying to right a wrong for 2 lost decades.
There's no amount of money that anybody can ever pay me to get me back to 23 years that was stolen and the embarrassment that my wife and children had to go through.
But there have been precious moments of moving forward. Mansfield will never forget the day he got to tell his stepfather that the awful mark beside his name, their name, was finally gone.
I was so happy to be able to go to my dad and tell him, our name's getting clear, Daddy, our name's getting clear. So, that's pretty big stuff.
Ken Anderson was disbarred over the Michael Morton case, and although Morton spent 25 years in prison, Anderson spent 10 days as a result of a plea bargain. We reached out to Ken Anderson on this case, but did not hear back. The current Williamson County DA, Sean Dick, says he continues to work to restore the community's faith in the justice system there. Williamson County is fighting Mansfield's lawsuit, saying that because prosecutors are not county employees, the county is not responsible for what happened. The case is set for trial in February. Tony Plahetsky, KVUE News.